Hi guys, it's Amy with A to Z Stamping, and today I wanted to show you how to make a card using the Brushwork alphabet stamp. So those of you who are scrapbookers or memory keepers, you know that alphabet stamps are great to use in our books because all the time we're wanting to stamp different things that we want to use our own alphabet. And this Brushwork alphabet's a lot of fun. It's got the capital letters and the lowercase letters. These are actually 75% of the size they actually are. So they're good size letters. Here's the capitals. You can see they're good size. So the ones with tails, they're a little bit longer than the standard size. I think they're 1-inch letters though. The capitals are, let's see, the K. Yeah, it's about 1 inch, but some of them, like I said, might be a little bit longer. And then the lowercase alphabet, they're much smaller. Like the E is just, it's not even quite 1/2 inch. I mean, they're tiny. But this is a fun little set. It's pretty. And you can also use it, though. It's also fun to do in your cards because you could stamp whatever sentiment you want to do or a name or something like that. And so I made this card up for my niece's birthday. I wanted to do a pretty card for her, and I stamped her name, and I'll show you that in a minute. And so I thought I would do another one today, though, for another teenage girl that I have in mind, and I want to say amazing. And so since I don't have a stamp set that says that, well, I'm going to create it myself. All right, so in order to do this card, I wanted to do something really pretty, so I grabbed a bunch of paper from the Abstract Impressions, the Garden Impressions paper. It's so pretty. There's all different flowers and colors, and it's really stunning paper. And so I grabbed out stuff I wanted to use. I wanted to use 4 different Designer Series papers that kind of all coordinated with each other. And I'm just going to let the Designer Series paper speak for itself. So the first piece, I wanted to cover my whole entire front. So this one is cut at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And let's go ahead and just put our card together while I'm talking about it. So I have a piece of thick Whisper White cardstock, 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. It's a standard A2 card size. And I'm going to fold that in half. Get my bone folder here to give it a nice crisp fold. Okay, and like I said, this is going to fit right over the front, just like so. So I am going to grab my snail adhesive, and I want to line this up very carefully because I don't want it crooked. There, and that's covering the whole front there. All right. All right, the next piece here, I'm going to have to get out my ruler. So this piece here is 2 1/2 by 4 1/2. 2 1/2 by 4 1/2. And I'm going to mount them all onto Whisper White cardstock. So this would be 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. So I'm making all of my own little matted Designer Series paper. Now, if you don't have Designer Series paper and you want to do something like this, you can stamp your own Designer Series paper to make this work, just like so. So this is going to go on the front. So this piece is going to go right like so. All right, our next piece, this one right here, is a square. So this is a 2 1/2 by 2 1/2 inch square, and I'm going to mount it onto this 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 inch square. Isn't this side so pretty with the little rosettes? Okay, and this is going right here. And this one, actually, before I stick this one on, I'm going to grab some Calypso Coral sheer ribbon, and I want to just do a piece right in the center. So I'm just going to start it right here, and I want it just a little bit wider. So I'm going to cut this off. There we go. Let me stick some more adhesive over the top of this. All right, let me make sure that's nice and straight. There we go. And this one's going to go right here. Okay, and then this last little piece, I want to stamp on this one first. So I'm going to grab, since these are clear mount stamps, I'm going to grab my foam mat, just to make sure it'll stamp a little bit better. And even though I have my amazing on the block already, I don't want to stamp it quite like this because of the edge of the stamps. The letters will be a little bit far apart and I want them a little bit closer together. So I'm going to stamp one at a time, but I still put them out on my block so that I had each of the letters ready to go. I think the hardest part is actually finding the letters. So I'm going to start with my A, and I'm actually going to stamp just in my black Memento ink. Memento is my just my go-to ink when I just need black. Okay, so I'm going to start with my A right here, since this is the biggest letter. A. There, isn't that so pretty? And I have my chamois right here. I'm going to set it down. I always keep my chamois in a clear case. Just going to set it right here, and then I can clean off each letter, and I can put them back in the stamp case. Because the letters are so tiny, I really don't want to risk losing them. So I'm just going to put them back. Okay. All right, so there was my A. Okay, so my M. Now, since I can see them through the blocks, I'm able to, I don't need to connect them, but I want them kind of close together. So there's my M, my little A, it was a little bit close, but that's okay. May, the little tiny Z, amazing, the little Z, where do you go, little Z? Right here, the little I. And it doesn't even matter if I'm getting them straight on the block, because since I can see where I'm putting it, I just straighten it out. Isn't this looking cool? The little tiny I. The little N. Look how tiny that N is. Don't get it confused with the U. I've done that before. And they are different. And finally, the G. Now see how the G is a little bit longer? Because of the tail, that's why I left space down at the bottom. And my G is gonna go right here. Amazing! Isn't that so pretty? Okay, and stick this back on, close this up. Okay, so there, isn't that so pretty? Amazing, and it looks like it's a stamp like that I just pulled out of one of my stamp sets that said amazing. I love it. Okay, so now I can finish putting my card together. So this one, did I tell you guys the dimensions of this one? This little piece here is 3 by 1 1/4. I love this side too. If you took my abstract impressions class, we used this paper in that class. It's so pretty. Okay. Amazing. There we go. And I'm going to stick adhesive on the back of that. And this one's going to go right up here. And then finally, to finish it off, I'm going to grab just a little bit more of that ribbon. Slide it under there, and I want to do just a single knot right now, because I want it to be as flat as I can. I'm going to trim that down in just a second. Then I'm going to grab one of these little rosettes. I can't even remember what they're called, but it's at the bottom of the screen, and it comes in 3 or 4 different colors. You guys have to look these up. They're really neat. They're like resin little roses. Can you see them? And I think, I'm not sure what the color is. It looks like Calypso Coral to me. It could be Grapefruit Grove, but it matches perfectly with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick a glue dot on the back. They're nice and flat on the bottom, so they're perfect for working with the cards. I'm going to stick a glue dot on the bottom, and then I'm going to press it down right over that knot just as hard as I can so that it gets something hard to go over the top. Because I want to get that to smush down. There we go. And it's on there. It's really secure. And then I'm going to cut this just a little bit smaller. And that is my card. Isn't that so pretty? Isn't that little rosette just really pretty. Can you guys see that close up? They're really neat in real life. When I saw them in the catalog, I was like, I'm not sure if I would use those, but I'm so glad that I got them now. Isn't that so pretty? Amazing. And here's the one I did for my niece, Sydney. So you see how my letters are spaced out a little bit further? I did that on purpose on this one because I wanted to fill up the whole thing. But this one, I did put them all on this block and stamped them. But do you see the spacing? How it's much further? That's as close as I could get them compared to this where I stamped each one on its own. But isn't that so pretty? I love this paper. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and that you'll consider checking out the Brushwork alphabet. This is a good one to have. I hope you guys will subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks, guys. Bye.